Okay, so today we're going to be going over the Unit 6 review for polygons. That way we can get prepared for our Unit 6 test that we have coming up. Okay, so for the first one, tell whether each figure is a polygon. If it is, name it by its number of sides. Remember, a polygon has to have straight sides, can't be any curves. They gotta be straight sides that all connect. Don't leave a tail, nothing. Just straight sides that connect. So let's look at the first one. Is this one a polygon? Yes. And then name it by the number of sides it has. Well, this one has one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. Now, I saw a lot of people on this assignment just write down 6 sides. That's not a name. That'd be like calling a person 2 feet. Hey, 2 feet. That's not a name. A 6-sided polygon is called a hexagon. B. Here we know this is a circle, but does it have straight sides? No, it does not have straight sides. So this is not a polygon. What about this one? Third one. Well, we start off with almost 3 straight sides, but then we have this curved side up here. So this would also be a no. Okay, number 2, tell whether each polygon is regular or irregular, and then tell whether it's concave or convex. Remember, regular means all sides and angles congruent. Irregular just means not regular. So if all the sides and angles aren't congruent, then it's irregular. So let's look at, I guess, let me back up. Concave means it's caved in. Think of it like you punched a wall and it caved in. So number 2. A, I see all my angles are the same, but those two are not the same. So this has to be irregular. Now, is anything caved in on A? No. So this is convex. Now for B, well, right off the bat, I can see angles don't match. Those are not the same kind of angle. So this is definitely irregular. And does it look like somebody punched this shape in to where if I connected 2 points, I would have to go on the outside of it? Yes, it does. So this is concave. Next one, all the sides are the same, all the angles are the same. So this one is regular, and if it's regular, then it has to be convex. No ifs, ands, or buts. If it's regular, it's convex. Okay, number 7. What's the sum of the interior angles of the following polygons? This is where we use the formula n minus 2 times 180. That's where we have to use that formula. So let's look at a heptagon. How many sides does a heptagon have? 7. So I'll have to come in here and go 7 minus 2 times 180. If I calculate that, I'll get 900 degrees. What about a decagon? A decagon has 10 sides. So I take that and plug it in. 10 minus 2 times 180. I'll get me 1,440 degrees. And then we have pentagon. The pentagon has 5 sides. Plugging that in, that's going to be 5 minus 2 times 180. Just 540 degrees. Next one, what's the measure of each interior angle? Each interior. So it's like we just did, but we want each angle, which means we have to not only do the formula, but then we've got to divide by how many sides it has. So for a dodecagon, it has 12 sides. So if I do my formula right quick, I would have 12 minus 2 times 180, which is 1,800. But I'm not done. I have to then take 1,800 and divide it by 12. And that'll get me 150 degrees. Now for a quadrilateral, how many sides does a quadrilateral have? 4. So I have to come over here and do 4 minus 2 times 180. Gets me 360. But then I have to do 360 divided by 4, which gives me 90 degrees. Where did I get the 4 from? It's how many sides it has. On A, where did I get the 12 from? It's how many sides it has. So C, we have a nonagon. How many sides does a nonagon have? 9. So I'll come in here and say 9 minus 2 times 180. And that would be a number I'm not quite sure on. I can't do this one in my head. $12.60. Then I've got to come over here and say, okay, well, 1260 divided by 9 is 140 degrees. So that's each interior angle. Find the total, divide by how many sides. That's all you got to do. 9, what's the sum of the measures of the exterior? So I want the sum of the exterior angles. Well, this is the easy one. Out of all of them, this is the easy one. No matter the polygon, the sum of the exterior angles is always going to be 360. So hexagon, don't care how many sides it has. 360 degrees is your answer. Octagon, I don't care how many sides it has. 360 degrees is your answer. For the exterior only, it's going to always be 360. Next one. What is the measure of each exterior angle? Well, we know the total is 360. So at this point, our little formula we can use is just 360 divided by n. So for a hexagon, how many sides does a hexagon have? 6. So for this one, we just do 360 divided by 6 and get 60 degrees. Now for a 30gon, how many sides does a 30gon have? 30. So for this one, we simply come in here and say 360 divided by 30. And that'll get us 12 degrees. And then the last one up here, pentagon has 5 sides. So then you do 360 divided by 5, and you get 72 degrees. Okay, number 11. What kind of angles are these? Are they inside the shape or outside? They're all outside the shape. These are exterior angles. And what did I say? No matter the shape, what do all exterior angles add to? 360. So we can just add these up. 5n plus 4n plus 3n plus 2n plus n equals 360. So this total would be, let's see, 15n equals 360. Divide by 15. And we get n equals 24. Okay, number 12. VWXY has a parallelogram. Find n. Well, one thing we know about a parallelogram is that the diagonals bisect each other. And it just asks us to find n. Diagonals bisect. So to get n, we just have to set them equal. So we'll get 2n equals 7. Divide by 2. And you get n equals 3.5. Or you could also leave this as 7 over 2. Either way works. Okay, number 13. Tells us ABCD is a parallelogram. Okay, well, let's think about parallelograms. They give us an angle here. We know that opposite angles have to be congruent. So C has to also be 110. I'm going to go and fill that in. I know that. Another thing is that consecutive angles have to be 180. So these two angles must give me 180. So I have to find room somewhere to do 180 minus 110 gives me 70. So angle B is 70 degrees, which means angle D is 70 degrees. (14) Again, we have a parallelogram. What's the value of x? Well, on a parallelogram, opposite sides are congruent. So to get x, I just have to take 2x and set it equal to x plus 3. Subtract x. 2 minus 1 is just x equals 3. Okay, on to the next page. Determine if the following must be parallelograms. So we have to see, do they meet our properties? Do they meet our properties? That'll tell us if we have parallelograms. So the first one I have looks like two pairs of opposite sides congruent. Yes, this is a property. So yes, this is a parallelogram. The next one, they just tell me one pair of congruent sides. That's it. So no, this does not have to be a parallelogram. The next one, they have one pair of congruent sides. That's good. And they tell me these angles are congruent. Well, if these two angles are congruent, then that means those two sides are parallel. But does that give me enough information still? No, this is not. I have to have one pair that's both parallel and congruent. And then the last one, does it have to be a parallelogram? Yes, it does. Diagonals bisect, so yes. Okay, 16 says, tell whether the statements are sometimes or always true. This is not a multiple choice. I'm not asking you to circle A, B, C, or D. I'm asking you to tell me whether they're sometimes or always true. So a square is a rectangle. Yep, all day, every day. A square is a rectangle. So this is always true. A square is a rhombus. Yep, all day, every day. A rectangle is a parallelogram. All day, every day. A rhombus is a rectangle. Ooh. That can only happen if we have a square. So this is sometimes. Okay, number 17. It says ABCD is a rectangle. Find AE. Well, a rectangle is a parallelogram, which means diagonals have to bisect, but also all the diagonals are congruent. So not only do they bisect, but when they bisect, they are congruent. So the one it asked me to find is AE. That's this one right here. But it's since they bisect and they're congruent, that means AE is only 6.5. That's it. That easy. Okay, number 18, find the numbered angles in the rectangle. Well, let's see. I know this angle is 33, so I'm going to go through like we did in class, do all the angles, and then just fill the blanks in at the end. This one by P is 33. That means this one needs to be 33 degrees. This one's going to be 33 degrees. That one's going to be 33 degrees. Now, how do I find this other angle that goes with the 33? Well, I know I have a right angle by P. Part of it's 33. So the other part, I do 90 minus 33. 90 minus 33 is 57. So this one's 57. This one's 57. 57. 57. Okay, let's find angle 2 now. So for angle 2, focus on the fact that we have a triangle right here that I know 2 angles on. How can I get the third? Well, add them up. So 57 plus 57 is going to be 114. Subtract that from 180. And we get 66. So this is 66. And then these are congruent angles, so this one's got to be 66. And then on a line, they've got to be 180. So then I can do, well, what goes with 66 to give you 180? 114. So this is 114. This is 114. Okie dokie. Let's see if we've got enough to fill the blanks in, because I think we found all we can find. Measure of angle 1. We said that was 57 degrees. Angle 2, 66 degrees. Angle 3, 33. Angle 4, 114. And angle 5, 57. There's all our angles. $19. They tell us that the measure JML, so that's this whole angle right here, JML is 84 degrees. Find JKM. So the one they want me to find is JKM, this one right here. Well, what do we know? If JML is 84, what do the diagonals do to angle M and angle L? Or sorry, angle M and angle K? They cut them in half. So divide 84 by 2, you get 42. So this one's 42, this one's 42. But also, since we have a rhombus here, these are congruent on the opposite side. So this is 42, this is 42. So what is the measure of angle JKM? 42 degrees. Okay, number 20. The quadrilateral is a rhombus. Find X. Well, what do we know about a rhombus? All sides are the same. So to get X, I just have to set 3x plus 4 equal to x plus 20. Move my X over. I get 2x plus 4 equals 20. Subtract the 4. I get 2x equals 16. Divide by 2, and I'll get x equals 8. So all they ask us to do is find x. #21. Find the measured angles in the square. Well, let's find all the angles in the square. So a square is a rhombus, which means the diagonals are perpendicular. So that means they intersect at a 90-degree angle. The diagonals also cut each angle in half because it's a rhombus. So normally squares have 90-degree angles, but 90 cut in half is 45. So all of these smaller angles are 45. Okay, we've labeled all our angles. Let's fill the blanks in. Measure of angle 1, 90 degrees. The measure of all the others, 45. Okay, 22. What's BD? So this is the side they want me to find. Well, they tell me I have a square here, which means I'm going to use my properties of special right triangles to solve this. Oh yeah, they're coming back. Oh yeah. So this is a 45, 45, 90 special right triangle. This side's x, that side's x. Our hypotenuse is x square roots of 2. Well, what's x have to be? Based on what we just labeled. X equals 8. So this hypotenuse is 8 square roots of 2. Okay, well, what's BD? BD equals 8 square roots of 2. Notice I left it in radical form. I did not do the Pythagorean theorem and give a decimal. I left it in radical form. which is radically awesome, dude. Okay, 23. Says the diagonal of the parallelogram DEFG forms angles with the measures shown. What's the measure of DEF? DEF. That angle right there. What is it? Well, what's DEF have to be equal to? DGF. If I can find this angle, then I can find that angle. So let's find G, then I'll go get E. Well, what do we have here? We have if we look just around this one, we've got ourselves a triangle. God, that's a triangle right there. So we can do 36 plus 17. That's going to give us 53. Subtract 53 from 180. And we get 127. So this angle is 127, which means E is 127. So the measure of angle DEF, oh, that's just 127. Okay, number 24. Tell whether each polygon is a type of parallelogram. We just have to say yes or no to is it a parallelogram. So is a rhombus a parallelogram? Yes. What about a rectangle? You betcha. A trapezoid? No. A square? Right on. And a kite? Nope. So the only types of parallelograms we have are a rhombus, a rectangle, and a square. Trapezoid and kite? No way, Jose. Okay, next page. Okay, 25, they tell us we have a parallelogram and they ask us to find the measure of angle A. So I need the measure of angle A right here, but I got an A in there, so I got to find the A. Well, what do I know about A and C? They're congruent. So I can say 8A minus 10 equals 4A plus 8. And solve for A. So subtract 4A. Get 4A minus 10 equals 8. Add 10. We get 4A equals 18. Divide by 4, and I get A equals 4.5. But is that what they asked me to find? No, I have to plug it in, plug it in. So 4 times 4.5 plus 8. going to give me 26 degrees. There we go. Okay, number 26. It says in a kite EFGH, the measure of angle FEJ. So this angle right here is 30 degrees. That's what I'm going to label it as, 30 degrees. Find JFE, this angle right there. Well, on a kite, what do the diagonals do? Intersect at a 90-degree angle. So I can focus on that small triangle that I have. I can focus on this triangle. One angle is 30, one angle is 90. Let's add them up and subtract from 180. It's going to be 120. 180 minus 120 is 60 degrees. There's my angle. This angle up here is 60. Okay, next one. They tell me that KB is 21.9. So this one is 21.9. JB is 10.8. And then we've got to find three different lengths. Well, since they're giving me diagonals, let's go and write in the others. Diagonals on an isosceles trapezoid are congruent. So I know these have to be that. Let's see if I answered anything. It asked what FB was. Yep, 10.8. BM, 21.9. So FM, the whole thing, we just add these together. So 10.8, 21.9, 17, carrier 1, 2, 3. So 32.7. Okay, number 28. What is the measure of angle A in the isosceles trapezoid? So they're looking for A right here. Well, let's see, I know D is 100. And on an isosceles trapezoid, consecutive angles have to add up to 180. So all I have to do is 180 minus 100 to get 80 degrees. There's my answer. Okay, 29. In trapezoid ABCD, find EF. Well, what do we know this about EF? What is EF? What's it called? It's called a mid-segment. And we've actually got a formula for mid-segment. The mid-segment, let me write this kind of in the middle here. Mid-segment equals base plus base divided by 2. Now, we don't know what the mid-segment is, but what we do know is our two bases. So our bases are 13.5 and 8. Let's do that. 13.5 plus 8 divided by 2. That's going to give us 10.75. So what's EF? EF is 10.75. Okay. Next one. And the trapezoid, what's the value of n? Well, what's this 36 thing that's just kind of hanging out in the middle? It's a mid-segment. 3n and 9n are my bases. So if I set up my formula, I'll have the mid, so 36 equals 3n plus 9n over 2. I don't like fractions. I know you don't like fractions, so let's multiply both sides by 2. Boom, that goes away. 2 times 36 is 72. 3n plus 9n is 12n. So now we divide by 12. And we get that n equals 6. Okay, next one. They ask us to find UV. Oh, what's this 21 hanging out in the middle here called? It's our mid-segment. I know 15 is my base. I don't know UV, so I'm going to just call it X. And then plug into our formula. So 21 equals 15 plus X divided by 2. Multiply both sides by 2 to get rid of this 2 down here. 2 times 21 is 42. Subtract 15. And we'll get 27. So that means that UV equals 27. And the last one, we are almost done. What is the value of S? Well, What kind of shape do I have here? How many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got to first figure out how many degrees I'm allowed to have based on how many sides I have. So let's do that. 6 minus 2 times 180. That's going to give me 720. That's how many I'm allowed. That's my budget. So how can I figure out what S is? Add them all up and set it equal to 720. So 8S plus 7S plus 5S plus 8S plus 7S plus 5S. If I add all these up, what do I get? That's going to be 40S equals, this needs to look like an S. 40S equals 720. Divide by 40. And you'll get S equals 18. That's all they ask you to find, is find S. S is 18. Okay, so that's the review for the test. Study it, know it, ask me if you don't understand anything, and good luck.